does at least give you a hero that's pretty self-sufficient in the lane and not easy
10
to
seconds
burst down,
remaining.
especially as the game goes on. But we'll see. The
5
question
seconds
isn't if
remaining.
Dreammaker can find that connection perfectly with the bow into the arrow. Maybe in the laning phase he might still be a little bit squishy.
I suppose. Like we saw, it was really on point with CZY that game, able to hit the point blank arrow to the face, made sure he got the early kill onto Jackie. That was easily the most impressive stuff that I think I saw from Dreammaker in the laning phase. But unfortunately, they weren't able to transition it. Like I just went back and had a look at the win probability graph as well from game number 1, and right at that point, from when TA died in the mid lane, when he probably shouldn't have, underneath the tier 1 tower, it was just all Motivate since then. Like it did not progress down back towards Dreammaker once.
We'll see what they want to pick up here for Rose. Storm's banned out, doesn't have the Void Spirit available. An instant Ember band. Didn't even look at what Dreammaker had banned out for themselves.
Probably the Quap, to be honest,
Yep.
coming next. Or the Invoker. I think an Invoker ban is fine here too.
10 seconds
Like you've
remaining.
got great setup for a Sunstrike combination as well with the
5
Sand King
seconds
Mirana.
remaining.
So if you wanted to go Exort, really amp up the damage, you've got a decent amount of crowd control. You know, the Quaswex isn't going to be massively impactful against a Lifestealer. So I think it's a pretty good Invoker game.
We saw the Invoker and Viper banned out in the last phase of game 1 when they were looking for Rosé's here. Of course, we said the Queen of Pain is still potentially on the cards here, something that he has played a decent amount. He hasn't had too much of a wide hero pool throughout the groups. They've really liked to just cycle through 4 or 5 heroes, if that.
You never want to be too predictable, right? And that's what I really liked about Motivate's first game draft, right? Like they left us guessing right until the end stage, and it could have legitimately been any lane that one of those 3 heroes went: the Void Spirit, the Queen of Pain, and the Dawnbreaker. And they end up getting rid of the Quap instead.
Okay, so it can't be farming hero because Clinks is playing by the triangle. They have decent ways to start fights with Pango, Sand King. You might be looking for a little bit of magic, maybe a little bit of control for the Void Lifesteal. I was trying to think of maybe a BKB piercing, but difficult to get that in regards to a 2.
Dire team
what are they all for? Okay.
I mean, you have to run this in one of the side lanes, surely.
It's a decent matchup versus Void Spirit mid. Like even the simulate early level, or quite often you banned out the Queen of Pain as well, which is the biggest counter, which gets rid of the flexibility on Motivate. Maybe they could puck and go Tide. You put the Void. How you play that? Line 5. Void Tide lane. It's a bit interesting. I think Void Spirit mid, you have to go early boots and just play on creep aggro. And what do they go? They go Lina. Okay, so we will see the support come through from, at least in regards to the Void Spirit. Or do they put it as a 3? Let's see.
No, I think they put it as a 3. I think Tide Hunter's 5.
Yeah, okay.
I think their big danger was they didn't want something that, like, Void Spirit into Razor, it's still a little Razor favorite, but it's not horrible.
Yeah.
But I think what they wanted was not to have the risk of just picking something that then they could just say, all right, we want Sand King mid into the Void Spirit. Because I think Sand King just bodies the Void Spirit in that lane.
It's not easy to beat a lean on mid at all. I wonder if the LSA changes might... We'll see how that fares, because the nice thing is you can just out harass the Razor, and whenever he looks to get aggressive, you pop the LSA down, and you can easily move yourself back to the safety of the tier 1 tower. It gives him another hero to be able to scale very well into the late game. Some burst too to combine up with the Lion, so they really have this 1-2 punch combo at the moment from at least the regards of Motivate's heroes.
Yeah, especially when you're up against these heroes, right? Like they're not I don't want to say they're not easy to kill because, like, the Mirana, she's got leaps. Rose has a ton of movement speed. Sand King, obviously, Burrow Strike and Sandstorm clinks. Even the Skeleton Walk for the maneuverability. And Pangolier, again, hard to kind of lock in onto. If you can get them stunned up in place, then of course you can burst them down very quickly. So I feel like the Lena's a pretty catch-all hero that's good at allowing that sort of stuff to happen. Probably still favoring Motivate for this one, just because I don't think this Razor's like gonna have an amazing laning stage. Again, Sand King Mirana is a good strong lane, but with Set Zero, you mentioned it before, the Kraken Shell can just shrug off a lot of the damage super early on, and you're not going to be taking too much harass. The Lifestealer probably not going to get caught underneath it. I think Set Zero, his main job is that if they are trying to get aggressive onto Jackie, that he just parks his body in the way to make sure that after that Burrow Strike, the arrow is not going to land.
I think that we'll get to a stage where Motivate might lack damage if Dreammaker can play it in regards to you put the Lion very underleveled and you play off the back of the cooldowns in Finger of Death and Lacuna Blade. Because if you are consistently static linking the Lifestealer, I don't believe you use it on anyone else this game. Like, Mastros isn't a threat at that stage when you're team fighting. He's got mobility. Tied to 5, you don't care about that. So just mitigate all of the Lifestealer's damage. So the question is going to be where will it come from throughout the early game from Motivate if their cooldowns are lacking. The late stage, you're fine because Fearless on the Lina can scale it at an exceptional rate.
Yeah, and Fearless as well. Razor's probably one of the fastest heroes in the game, just with his standard item build. But Lena's probably up there as well, right? You're going to have the Boots of Travel most likely. You're going to have the Fiery Soul stacked up. So he's one of those ones that probably can get a decent amount of distance away from the static link if it tries to get used onto him. Like, eventually, if you're in Rosé's shoes, you got to use it onto someone. And Jackie's a good enough player. Like, he's not number 1 Immortal anymore. I think he's down to like number 8. So absolute trash player.
Absolutely.
But yeah. It means that, you might need to use it onto someone like Set Zero just so that you're able to do some kind of damage in these team fights.
We'll see how the break comes out.
The battle begins.
Jackie, always the sneaky one, looking to try and waddle up forward. See how he's able to play this lane as well. He's going a lot of stat orientated at the moment with the Lifesteal, of course, combined up with the Tide 5, which we have seen picked up at a decent amount through the groups. It was a lot of experimenting by Dreammaker, who was really liking, the Tide, the Dawnbreaker, the Mars on Trezam. We saw a lot of the flexibility from them. Already see, though, how this Razor is not looking to play as aggressive up against the Lina. Doesn't even have a point in the static link at the moment, unfortunately, of first to 9 in the range. So Fearless instantly, you may as well drop that voice line. It's a pretty good timing when you get the deny on the first range creep, I'd say.
Now, what do you think the Buttercup suffix to Fearless's name is? It's like a lot of these players, you've got girl name there on a few of them,
I don't know.
Oh, actually, no. Look at his profile picture. Actually,
what is it?
You not see it anymore. That's weird.
I do see it. Yes.
It's Buttercup from the Powerpuff Girls for whatever reason.
Well, top lane, never mind. I ended up going down or Set Zero. He can sidestep the arrow, and Jackie is the one to pick up first blood. We had a level 1 engagement in the side lane. And quite often we see the level 2s on one teams are going to get active, but it's Motivate that will come out ahead here early on.
Surprising that they were trying to get that deep on the Sand King in particular. Like, level 1 Caustic Finale, you just do nothing. It's one of the most useless level 1 abilities in my eyes in the entire game. It just basically resigns you to the fact that you're sitting back and trying to be a little bit too passive, which is not how you want things to go if you've got this Mirana lane.
How's bottom at least going here? Mastros trying to man fight at the moment. Are they going to win the trade here? Chidori just getting out to the safety of the Invis. Now they can turn back around. Clean off the Void Spirit Q. Looking for some revenge. He'll miss on the Earth Spike. And now he, too, will also cost himself his own life.
All All right, so some nice little trades happening for both sides of the lanes. Probably wasn't expecting that one, to be honest. You know, good use of the. It's very rare that you see the early skeleton walk point put into the laning stage, just because you know you're the position one carry. You want to focus on farm as much as possible, but making sure to hold that skill point until it was needed. Knowing that Motivate liked to play. Oh, this is actually a really big Earth Spike onto Shazam. He didn't land from the shield crash, so he doesn't get that 30% damage reduction.
Will kind of offset that little advantage they had previously from picking up those 2 kills as well. So Chidori, maybe they can, you know, shove him out for the next creep wave before the Pango gets back. But who got the kill? Okay, it was Q. Meanwhile, mid lane, man, Fearless is botting Rose. Doesn't have the mana for Dragon Slave. The right clicks are not enough either.
Speaking of getting shoved out, I mean, that's exactly what's happening to Rose right now. You've got the, he even used the glyph, right, to make sure that that range creep was tacking up a few of those tower hits. Of course, the tower doesn't turn its aggro onto you until you're within, I believe, 500 range. So with Lina, with such a long attack range, he was able to continue to get a few more right clicks off, but Rose just tanky enough to be able to survive.
I'm very worried. Razor is quite the laning stage dominator, and he is 10-1 compared to the 22-8 from Fearless, absolutely demolishing this mid lane.
Money to burn.
But the action continues as Shazam, he'll eat the Remnant. He's putting his own body on the line here to allow Chidori just to start firing away with the barrage of arrows, and now they'll also kill off Q, so another double here for Dreammaker in their safe lane.
That was fantastic by Shazam to make sure he was tanking up that Remnant. Like, that's the sort of gameplay that I was expecting to see on the top side of the map, with Set Zero putting his body in the way. Doesn't actually even have a point in the Kraken Shell just yet. A little surprised at that. But, you know, to tank up the arrow after the Burrow Strike. So the fact that you're able to get that off as the position 5 Pango to protect your Clinks and then get the turnaround kills, really nice play coming out there from Dreammaker.
I mean, you just... Whenever Nevermind is coming up to the creeps, they're just completely zoning him out. Once again, though, bottom lane. This time, Shazam will not keep his life. They're going to look to push back Chidori as well. But some of the abilities are on cooldown, so Chidori feels content. We're trying to man fight at the moment. It will cost him his choreo.
I shall reconsider your worth.
Yeah, I mean, the... Oh, any more action? No, the in-game client... It's not perfect, but at least we can now hotkey our heroes that we weren't able to do before. Never mind, he's actually going to die on this top side. Is he? He's got Sandstorm in a second.
Shatsuro, you can drop Mango for the Gosh. There's no way. What? Oh. Okay, they'll see him now.
That Observer Ward, though.
Huh? Okay. I'm like, hang on. This man's not going to get away, right? 2 deaths, and definitely not the Sand King performance like we saw previously. CZY is putting a lot more emphasis on making stacks by the jungle. He's already got a quad at the hard, and I believe it tripled the ancients as well. Action bottom continues.
Really
Chidori and Shazam, yeah. See, they're a bit split at the moment. Clinks not being protected as much as they're going to put all their attention on the position 1 instead of the Pango, but it will still cost Q his life, and MG.Trust as well. Can he get the kill thanks to the Resident Pulse burst? He can. Shazam, unfortunately, not lucky enough. He will finally get it, though, as this position 5 Pango has got 4 kills.
Yeah, Shazam has easily been the best player of this game so far. Just being able to turn multiple kills around, clutch uses of Fairy Fires to make sure he's able to survive that 1 extra right click and be able to get some turnaround kills for his Clinks, and just perfect movement coming around there as well. Really impressed by this performance.
He's about to be level 6.
Yep.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Did it just go as soon as he picks it? There we go. How do they want to use this Rolling Thunder? Charge it up, Mastros. At least we'll dodge back once. Shazam a bit too far away to connect. So let's give it a decent amount of time for the reinforcement to come. So a bit of a window there that Dreammaker had with their early level 6 and not able to utilize it to perfection.
It is still a little tough. I mean, I feel like maybe you go on to Q instead, just because, you know, he doesn't have the same kind of escape potential that Mastros does. Still, though, they forced a TP out of the Tide Hunter. It's going to make this top lane a little easier. And Nevermind, I believe, was just scouting out if there's any kind of stacks up in the jungle, placing an Observer Ward as well. So at least he's been able to salvage his game a little bit now.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Has Lifestealer got dust? He doesn't. Maybe coming up with a courier? No, okay. So this will give Nevermind an opportunity just to continue to cut the wave. They are also still making stacks by the Ancients here for at least Chidori to further accelerate his farm at the moment. But Jackie's doing a very good job to keep up. Bottom lane action will continue. It's where it's been for the entirety of the game. But Shazam just scurrying away to safety.
He's still alive, you know. He's just this. I don't want to say unkillable beast because he's died a couple
Is he
times.
gonna kill Rose? Oh, drop the Laguna forward. He's gonna double back now. Let's be cautious about the arrow that's flying. He's got the backup of CZY. Fearless will not stick around for too much longer.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
But I mean, the lane, like mid lane, going definitely as expected for this Lina. Like it's a great pick just to overall. They don't have an amazing catch until they've got the Blink Dagger on a Pango, which is going to come a little late as it's position 5, and of course Blink on the Sand King as well. Arrow, he's going to be fast enough with a boost of travel that it's going to be very rare to get picked off in that way. So yeah, just again dominating the lane. The lane that I wasn't expecting to go quite as hard for Motivate though was this top side. Like Jackie is insanely farmed right now, especially when compared to Nevermind Sand King.
Do you feel like there's going to be an answer to the Jackie Lifestealer, or are we very worried for Dreammaker with how free of a start he's had?
Is under attack.
I mean, you know, you might look to say the Razor, right? But again, because of this dominance in the lane, how are you going to get that? You know, you're not going to have the farm to be able to even catch him in a lot of these team fights.
It's going to be a big question here of backline. Jackie, early use of the Rage. Setsira still need level 5 as well, but great use of the Infest. Rolling Thunder looking to fly on forward. He's got a bit of better positioning to play with now, making it up on the higher ground, but it looks like Radiant's still looking to push on. Look at the Burrow Strike back up in a couple seconds, and in fact, Rose can just do the work thanks to all the damage stolen in the static link.
Alright, so if the Lifestealer runs to you, then it makes things a little easier, especially this early on. So, rare mistake coming out there from Jackie. You know, that's why he's only number 8 in all of Southeast Asia, not number 1 anymore. But it's certainly something that was very much needed for Dreammaker to be able to come back into this game. It's really pushed the net worth a lot heavier towards them. You know, it's not just the kill gold that you get, it's also all the farm that Jackie's not getting as a result of that move.
Gold is a great conductor.
MG.Trust Chidori still battling it out down bottom at the moment. See the Clinks' farm, his third net worth at the moment. The Maelstrom completed, so he hasn't felt content with joining back up to the top side, but Jackie's still looking to play the safe lane. He wants to be this Guardian. Feels like he isn't under threat of being pressured out until multiple heroes show up, and even then it's Motive that themselves looking to bring the reinforcements.
They got the double zap coming as well. Figure of Death recently completed. Laguna Blade available. I'm sure it's going to be Rose that they're looking to try and take out towards the start of these team fights.
They've got the blink on Sandkling. Maybe this startup with the follow-up from the Rolling Thunder could be enough lockdown.
Channeling.
Oh, nice air spike from Q. This will give enough time for Jackie now to be able to get the Rage. Who do they want to target down? Rose first, but they still don't have the damage at the moment, so they can turn back as Q, he started the fight to protect the life, so it'll end with him dying now with the backline still fearless. Look at a cut down Trezam. To be a bit cautious. He does know at least the Rolling Thunder was expended and the Burrow Strike not a max out level, so the cooldown very high here.
Just again, like these tiny little things that happen. You know, that they had a Sentry Ward down, at least, right, in the top lane because of how Nevermind died previously. So I'm a little weirded out that they didn't look to put a Sentry down there, which would have scouted out not only the Sentry, but the Observer Ward, which would have then not allowed them to see him channeling up that epicenter to go in onto Jackie. Sure, Q gives up his life, but again, it's a support dying to save his carry. It's exactly the sort of play that you want to be happening right now on Motivate.
Oh, fearless. They just caught vision, so Nevermind instantly pouncing on top of the pesky Lina. This is the first death for her so far this game. Had a exceptional lane versus Rose. And now with this kill, it might widen up the map a little bit to get some deep wards down to further enable the punch combo they have with the Sand King Mirana.
And you can just even see like the different style of build that Masros is going this game. Like again, he had a pretty decent laning stage. Probably wasn't expecting Trezam to pop off as hard as he did, but he's gone into the Kaya and Sanj, wanting to be that frontline presence that's able to take a lot of the attention away from the Lina in particular.
Still yet to see Chidori farm these stacks though. They're gonna get one more out of it. Someone hit the Ancients. Oh no.
It doesn't matter now that they've used the Moonlight either. You know, it's so hard to actually stack while you're underneath the cover of the Moonlight.
Guess they're just looking to make a play and try and draw attention away from Chidori, but they don't scout out Motivate, and they're looking to smoke themselves from Dreammaker.
Oh no.
And what awareness. They may have seen that smoke.
Half taken. I mean, do you just take this? I feel like you just take this.
I don't know. Oh, you got double Astral Step. Oh my god.
Well, see you, Chidori's farm.
This is a huge objective. Radiant have to come. Trezam, they know the positioning, but it's all gone. The Ancients, the farm, your main objectives completely expended. Now they've caught out Lina on the back line. And Masros did commit all these ultimate charges, so Motivate, they have to kind of just die together on this higher ground. I don't know if they can retreat one by one, and unfortunately Masros will not escape with the rest of the team. No TP available, no Astral Step charges as well, so it would just be a slow, long, painful death. They'll look to waste as much time, but nonetheless, they will eventually find him, and Q as well will end up going down.
So do you think this was like, it's like Pandora's box, you know? You want it so hard, or maybe like the monkey's paw is the better analogy. Like, can you imagine if we steal 4 stacks away from the ancient camp against this Clinks, and the monkey's paw just slowly curls and they all converge on you and get a triple kill?
Well, I guess it's worked out this time for Dreammaker. Spidey senses tingling. They're like, okay, we're gonna make sure they can't take this, and now Chidori's someone who will be able to ramp up his farm. They are looking to defend top though from Motivate. Set 0. Cutting off the backline here. Can they burst him down before the Ravage? He'll get it off nonetheless. Now they can target Nevermind. It's the Sand King. Will end up falling a 1-to-1 trade here. Still don't have all their numbers on Motivate.
Well, that's fine. They're pushing both mid and bot lanes. They're totally cool with this. If anything, they just want their main role to be stop any TPs from coming out to defend these other lanes. He's totally happy with this. Like, he's dancing away underneath his tier 2 tower.
He dies, right?
Might even live.
Oh, no.
Nope. That's huge for Motivate. Bottom tower gone. Mid tower gone. Lion alive. He's loving it.
Jackie? Take a bit of damage here. It's okay. Lucy at the moment.
Boy.
Is he gonna go Sergeant Yasha for the movement speed? I feel like you might have to against a Razor. Yeah, you will.
That's great. I mean, you can see, like, he's holding a windlace, for God's sake. How many times do you see a lifesteal hold a windlace to be able to, you know, just move around a little bit easier in these team fights and prevent you from being not just ineffective, but actually, like, a negative impact because of how much you're buffing up someone on the enemy team.
Set 0 again. This time he doesn't have the Ravage to get off before he dies, but at least it's given him enough time. Is Set 0 even gonna die again? Motivate somehow. Survive on a slither of health. Now they can look to chase back Rose as well, but even Chidori wants to join the fray around the mid-fight. Fearless and Jackie have to be cautious. Simultaneously, Q is blocked off the retreat for the Mirana. He doesn't have any more leap charges as Masros will cut her down.
Gold for me.
Been a couple of times now, Jack, with some great infest plays to be able to save. That was the extra HP that Set 0 needed to be able to stand and continue to fight. So really quick movement speed, quick reaction time coming out from your position 1 carry. And I keep talking about, like, those little differences in the game. Like, sure, it ended up getting him a triple kill. I just want to go back to that Ancient taking again. Like, Chidori, he used the Burning Barrage, which still maxed out. It's got an 18-second cooldown. About 2-3 seconds before the Maelstrom was delivered to him. So he only was hitting into it with the Javelin instead.
Masros, they'll chuck out the combo. See if the stun lock is enough actually to get Masros to safety. He's actually going to think about turning it back around. Never mind. He will get bursted. Almost falling, but the Barrow Strike just enough to kill off MG.Trust. Now Q is the next target. Trezam, make sure there's no escape here for the pesky Lion, who's been so annoying to disrupt all the stunts and all the nukes that they've been attempting here on Radiant.
At least they got the Razor in return. You know, it's not all doom and gloom for Motivate.Trust, but still, you know, I think you'll most of the time take 3 kills for the price of 1, even if that 1 is your mid laner. Despite his stack being taken away, Chidori's still looking pretty healthy. You know, level 12, he's got the 2 points into Death Pact, he was able to pick up a hard creep just there, so he's dealing a decent amount of right-click damage right now, already having the Dragon Lance available, and just realizing he needs to go into the BKB. I also just want to point out, with Nevermind's build, he went that first item, Blink Dagger, obviously realizing that, look, against Motivate, going that little bit more of a greedy style just doesn't work. You need to try and beat them at their own game, and just match their aggression by being preemptive with a lot of your aggression being pumped into them.
Do you feel like either team is happy at the moment with the status quo of this game, 18 minutes in?
Motivator fairly happy. I mean, Fearless hasn't transitioned after quite as good of a laning stage as he had previously, so that's always a little bit of a worry. But, you know, you were still able to take mid tower, bot tower. You're in a feeling like you're in a pretty good spot, although...
Caught out the Lion. Fearless even committed with his TP. Can maybe escape with the Shadow Blade. Do they have detection? They do, but the rest of Motivate looking to swing on over to the bottom side. Fearless still the target. It's Shazam's even going to roll on forward from the wings. Now Jackie, the next on the agenda. Can they chain lock him down perfectly? Arrow will fly, but Jackie, the nick of time, raids to keep him alive. They can turn to burst through Rose.
How many times have we seen that, though? You know, Fearless living up to his name, just saying, you know what, I'm just going to keep TPing in, even though we see 3 people going in onto my Lion. He was thinking maybe that Q was going to be able to survive long enough to have that Finger of Death to be used onto the key target. Wasn't the case, and, well, it ends up costing Fearless his life as well. Causes the rest of the team to rotate, though, to be able to defend. So, I feel like, you know, in the meantime, Chidori, he just continues to farm up. He's building up a nice little bank of net worth for himself. He's still actually a couple of levels behind Jackie's lifesteal. I'm a little surprised about that, but I feel like with the Clinks, you scale a lot faster, like in big bursts when compared to the lifestealer, which feels like a steady growth.
For Jackie, he's looking for the Ice Guardi as his next item. So a great way to be able to deal against the double ranged core that Dreammaker have currently. And at least for how they can start fights on Dire, it's going to get a whole lot easier considering Q has almost finished the Blink Dagger as well on the Lion.
And on Tidehunter. Well,
oh wow,
he has actually. So, I mean, that's a little bonus, right? Like, I feel like they're still going to play pretty much the same as they have been right now on Motivate.Trust, but as soon as that Scud is available on Jackie, that's when you're going to look to see some of these infest bombs inside the Tidehunter. You know, like, you need to be able to lock in onto one of these key range targets, particularly the Razor, right? The main priority for them is to be able to lock onto Rose, burst him down, Laguna Blade, Finger of Death, and just take him completely out of the fight. So that's why Rose's timing on his BKB is so important. Like, even a player that's as skilled as him isn't going to be able to get that Yule's dodge off every single time.
It does feel like Dreammaker right now, their way to even out the item progression that Motivate have been picking up is just waiting for this BKB. I mean, Rose's it's got 1 component completed, can find the second as well if he wants to, whereas Chidori has also got the BKB actually done now for himself. They have a blink on Trezam, but Dire are going to give them the opportunity just to farm up for free. They're looking for a smoke. Fearless, it's not really going to reveal too much unless the rest of the team just instantly jump. They feel like that's enough. They won't get an objective out of the kill.
Actually, never mind. I said that might change once Jackie looks to build up into
still looking for an angle.
Oof. Once he got the Scudi, I was thinking they were making that type of play, but I guess underestimating Motivate's need for kills
Trezam
right now.
He's actually looking to hunt Fearless at the moment, but they're all behind. For Q, they'll just look to sacrifice, and Chidori BKB'd. So a fresh pickup now wasted.
Yeah.
Regeneration.
Not really necessary there. And they're even trying to get the kill here onto Nevermind. Got to be a bit careful, especially considering Trezam. He's sitting up on this high ground. Doesn't have the Rolling Thunder, of course, but maybe just seeing Set Zero TP up towards the top side led Dreammaker to think, all right, we can look to make a play right now. Still, I don't think you mind, right? Like, the Mirana died, sure, but it was such a heavy reveal. Like, the Blink Ravage has been scouted out now as well, right? Like, obviously, Ravage wasn't used, but you saw the Blink Dagger used previously, and that's just creating more and more time for Rose to continue to farm. He's been using his Eye of the Storm off cooldown just to speed up his farm, not caring to, save it for, if they were looking to try and make an aggressive move onto him, just trusting his team to play in quote-unquote stupid spots so that, they take the brunt of the aggression instead of him. Like, even Chidori, right? Moving out of the lane, giving up a hard camp so that Rose can pick up this BKB as quickly as possible. And I think he's just got it.
We're about to have a huge fight because Lena's about to pick up her BKB too. Just going to look to TP up top, shove that lane out. Radiant a little bit too late to progress bottom to kill off the Lena, and she's now going to start to go into some damage items. So we're speaking about Rose being a way to deal with, Jackie, if he can, lock onto his target and just, mitigate all of the lifesteal's damage output. But it's getting to a stage where Fearless is going to be a threat.
Nevermind's a bit far away from his team. I was wondering maybe they might try and dangle Rose on the front lines.
Oh, they're doing it now. Can he get anything off? They're on the top of the back line for the Earth Spike, making sure there's no opportunity for the BKB. They're looking to overwhelm Chidori at the moment. His own BKB will soon expire. They can bounce back on top of Jackie. The life still incredibly tanky with all the stat items that he's picked up previously. So they still get the kill. No, the armor toggle. Oh, Jackie costs himself his own life, and now the rest of Dreammaker hunting on for more. Fearless, great timing. A BKB turning with the help of the double damage, and now they can also clip onto the Clinks as well. But the detection slightly lacking, so now Chidori is the one on the aggressive front as they'll push back Set Zero. Fearless, the next target. The stuns are lacking at the moment. The movement speed that the Lena has, but maybe Trezam can continue to slow her down. Shield Crash locking the escape. Chidori still needs just that little bit of damage, but once he can find her on the backline, a big team fight victory for Dreammaker.
I honestly felt like they were even a little bit slow. They were dangling him on the front lines, and instead of just getting the immediate blink stun off on Nevermind Sankey, he looked to charge up the epicenter. Ends up, turning around for them in the end because of how farm Chidori is. But I just, again, want to highlight what a game Trezam is playing. Just constantly playing aggressively, living on such little HP, realizing the strength of that shield crash. He's 9-2-9 on a position 5 Pangolier.
The Philosopher's Stone does help out for the Mirana too, who's a pretty high net worth at the moment. But yeah, Trezam, already Aghanim Shard.
Stop this man.
No, you cannot indeed. The net worth really off the back of how the supports have been playing at the moment here from Dreammaker. Sure, they can will a game 3 into existence.
Dire's bottom tower is under
They're just camping around this area, maybe realizing that... see you later, never mind. Realizing that Jackie's close to picking up his Scud, he might have tried to take out the... Now, the courier not able to juke his way away. If they could have got his courier, that would have been a huge kill, but... should be able to get away still, although... Trezam, hello? It's just out of rage. He's trying so hard to hit it, and he will! He didn't micro it.
That's pretty much, that's Scotty. Jackie had enough for the other ultimate orb.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
They just gonna dodge fights. In fact, Jackie's even coming back to defend bot. Q doesn't have any detection at the moment of Chidori. The Clinks can scurry away, but again, another very, very even game. Dreammaker are keeping this one close. We saw in the game 1, their mistake around the tier 1 tower very much costed them. Gave Motivate so much momentum to be able to clean up and just, go from there. But at the moment, Dreammaker playing a very solid and sound second game.
Again, they're going to look to dangle Rose, just making him think, oh, I'm farming in a dumb position. Instead, they look
Fearless.
to lock on onto Fearless.
And they will burst her. Shazam
be
as
Roche.
well. I'm gonna try and bounce back on Q. It's giving them time away from Roche. I wonder if Dire will think about contesting this. You've got Ravage. MG.Trust hiding the wings as well. They'll reveal it. A jump instantly. Want to try and target down Rose before the BKB. A mechanism heal is not enough as Rose soon to fall. But now Motive, they've got to be cautious of how long they stick around. They've got a lot of burst initially, but after that is used, you have to reset. So we see for them to do so, but unfortunately Cube will not be as fortunate.
A bauble from the void.
A little unfortunate there for Rose. Like, he pops the BKB and still dies with an Essence Ring and a full wand not used either. So, obviously, like, you've got 3 fingers just constantly mashing away at the keyboard trying to get something off, but wasn't quick enough, unfortunately.
Radiant are scanning.
Should still be Roche, though. Like, Ravage being
Radiant's
used,
bottom tower
big
is
deal.
under
Like, it
attack.
means that Motivate probably can't look
Dire's
to
middle
consider
tower
fighting
is
into
under
this,
attack.
even once Fearless looks to respawn.
I was going to say maybe MG.Trust thinks about sniping this, but they're content at the moment to give up Roche. Do you feel like this is going to change how the game has been looking? Will this enable Dreammaker to start winning some more fights, or is it really not going to be as much of a factor?
Roshan has fallen into the
I think it would have been a lot more of a
Radiant's
factor
middle
if Razor
tower
was
is under
alive and you
attack.
could look to give him over the ages, because as much as it's great to, you know, say like
MG.Trust.
Tridori's crewing him.
They stopped the TP thanks to the arrow and the burrow on forward. Oh, I just caught the tail end of it, but somehow CZY was able to sniff out that TP location.
The illusion microing there by Setsuru as well, just causing them to look to chase down a Tidehunter illusion instead of the real thing. But yeah, like, it feels like Rose, he's having basically no effect in any of these team fights right now because, you know, Motivate, to their credit, they're prioritizing the person that needs to die to enable Jackie to have any kind of game. So if you could give the Aegis over to him, I would be feeling a lot more confident in Dreammaker right now.
Because we see that Clinks has got a decent amount of health pool to play with, and once Scarred is completed, it's going to get even higher. This is...
Dire's top tower is
I mean,
under
who
attack.
knows how different that fight could have been around the mid lane here if Jackie had the eye of the Scardy. But now completed thanks to the Choreo respawn, and also 2800 gold in the bank is going to be opting into the Satanic
Radiant's
as his
bottom
next
tower
item.
is under attack.
Fearless has got that silver edge though, so if he's able to pop that onto Rose as well, that's going to make him move around a lot slower too, which is obviously going to be a big benefit. They still end up taking the tier 2 tower though, so Dreammaker in a pretty good spot. You know, these open qualifier teams, they're no slouches. Smoking up again. Have they learned their lesson? Mostly. At least the high ground was with vision for them.
Phil's just picked up a DD. They're going to be cautious by the choke point as well. Chidori to lead.
Chidori.
Of course, he has the Aegis to keep in mind. Jackie trying to beat him down, but now that Rose's locked on to his target, they force an early use of the Ravage just to give Jackie an avenue out of the fight. Now they have to buy back here with the Pangli. Unfortunately for MG.Trust, he has committed all of his Astral Sept charges, so there will be no escape for the position 3, but simultaneously on the backline, though, Rose is committed too far. The Laguna Blade, along with the double damage, enough to get the kill on top of the Razor. Now Jackie feels like he has a free fight here without having to contend thanks to the static link. Now they're still going to be cautious here. Never mind trying to charge up the Epi. Won't find the connection. Motivate successfully reset back behind their tier 2 tower, and they're looking to go back on forward as Nevermind chunk down the life, so will take all his health.
Wow, this game just so quickly swinging back in Motivate's favor. Just a little bit of an aggressive move there by Rose. I don't think he even popped the BKB, and yet he's diving a tier 2 tower, wasn't able to get the static link off. I think if you don't have the Clinks there with his Scardy to be able to slow him down, you probably can't make that kind of play. Shazam also dying only for the 3rd time this game. Q picking up that 9 times kill streak, so a nice little injection of gold for the Lion.
He's loving life. What's he going for? 4-star after that? It's like, guys, what do I do?
not?
I'm so farmed.
Yeah, just look to get away from the
Radiant's
the
bottom
Pango
tower
chain
is
lockdown
under
from the
attack.
Razor.
Radiant
Even from the
structures
Clinks.
are fortified.
I think it
Very
also
effective.
gives you another way to get Jackie out of the static link, because we've seen the priority they've had. Jackie,
Radiant's
No
bottom tower
cancel.
has fallen.
will the rest of the team have the same fate? They will. So, yeah, we've seen the priority from Motivate. It's either blow up Rose or you have to kind of drop either a Ravage or Q has to compromise his positioning to hold back the Razor just to disjoint the static link. So now with the Force Staff, they might be able to do it at a easier location where they don't have to kind of commit in too far.
Yeah.
This could be a great smoke here. MG.Trust was just on the outskirts of that ward. Jackie behind him as well. Can they look to jump? Instant rage. He's got the infest too.
Oh, Jackie.
Tanks up the arrow and MG.Trust is outie.
Man, this guy's good. Just all these little plays coming together time and time again. Only 300 gold away from his Satanic, by the way. So he's looking to continue just being this beast on the front lines. You know, previously, a lot of that priority has gone over to MG.Trust. You know, he's got the Aghanims freshly picked up now as well. So obviously it's going to enable him to do that a whole lot more. But Jackie, he has really looked to put the team on his back and bring him across the finish line. Counter smoke coming out as well. Ravage back off cooldown. Investing inside of Q, actually. Might even look to force stuff blink in if they can find Chidori.
Oh, Q. Force Staff even further into the midst of it all.
That was a double force staff as well.
Fearless still looking to wrap on. Chidori has to be cautious. LSA on the mark as the Clink's going to be healthy enough thanks to the death pack. Get the BKB out to safety. They're very split at the moment on the side of Radiant. Trezam was meanwhile trying to claim the outpost, so not a whole lot force. I believe some BKBs and Laguna, which will be back up shortly.
He's got to be a little careful up here. I mean, Motivate don't have the greatest vision, but anytime that Q is looking to be that aggressive, you know that Jackie's sitting inside of him.
Has he... What talent did he go for on the line? Yeah, okay, went for the health like we see so often. Only with 3 charges, but of course life still in him. Yeah, see how tanky this man is. He just jump in, force away, might not even have Aeon Disc popped. And now another Satanic as well on Fearless. Oh my.
Regeneration.
They still do need, like, that's going to be great for surviving against the Clinks. They still need to pop the Razor though.
Yeah. And
he's got a haste, so hopefully for Rose, with the Elven Tunic picked up as well for that extra little bit of evasion.
Trezam?
Such fast attack speed.
Oh, inside the river, they've been able to jump Rose.
Not again.
It's the burst of the Razor, another time for the fight, and again, Jackie is going to have a free team fight. Now the life stealer, he doesn't care about his position. He can run around all measly, danly, doesn't have to wonder. Just, I wonder what you can...
Razor's got to live, man. Like, it's as simple as that. Razor's got to live. Do you buy a plate mail? You know, just so that you've got that extra little bit of armor. It's not like you're lacking in armor either.
It's a lot of magic damage, though. A majority of that was all magic there to kill him.
But how do you stop that? I mean, Glimmer Cape isn't on any of the heroes, but...
Raw stats, maybe.
Can you put everything on Trezam? Like, just get him to Blink Dagger or Swashbuckle in and get the Glimmer Cape off before the full combo. It would take some godlike reaction time.
I mean, Trezam is at the moment queued up a Basher, so they want another way to deal with the Lifestealer. Haven't...
No Rage TPs anymore.
Yep, no Rage TPs, and also just mitigating how mobile he can be in the fight off the back of this Rage. And what level is he? He's 24 at the moment, so if he wants to go for that plus 1.5 seconds on the Rage duration, will just make it that much more easier for Jackie.
Sam just trying to keep them pushed out as long as possible. You know, he's rolling up, TPing away, just playing the role of the lane shover right now, and he's doing a pretty damn good job at it.
And is
the Basher on the 5 Pango? What is this? One of my pubs?
Oh, that's a nice thing about the Pango. If the game goes on, and usually Dire have decent catch. I mean, Lion Blink, Void Spirit with Aghanims, you know, even Fearless to mention, he's got Silver's Edge, so they do not have horrible catch at all, but he's just been taking a lot of the aggressive farm, and he's only got 3 deaths to boot.
So you mentioned before that Rose was getting popped by majority magic damage, right?
Yeah.
I'm racking my brain. What is this E-Blade for that Nevermind's got queued up? Because they don't have a ton of magic damage for themselves. Sure, Blink Burrow Epi, but beyond that?
Not much.
See how Dreammaker can
Like-
take the fight. 5-man smoke Trezam.
Again, with his positioning. The armadillo on the high ground.
They can't really fight now. I mean, never mind. He's already used Burrow. That's static link on cooldown. There's a bit of a window for
Yeah.
Motivate if they want to use it. Setsuru also has already blinked. Radiant. Nice awareness to reset
Infest?
themselves. They've got to be cautious. Do you want to take a
Look to go the
fight?
Infest here. Yeah.
I thought I have
Infest
such good
inside
vision.
Setsuru is... Yeah, as soon as they got rid of that vision on the high ground as well, you can see this is the... Oh no, not
Oh.
Rose. You can't be the one that gets gone on again. Although, this time around, their vision's pretty decent. Are they going to walk underneath the sentry wall? They just will. Fearless and Q. So they're set up
Smoke
here.
popped. Never mind, could be in a great
Never mind.
position by the Roche pit. They have to find Rose. They haven't got the information just yet, but now instantly the jump. Nice timing of the
Got it.
BKB. Now he can look to drain away Jack. He's going to force himself to the western side, but meanwhile, Chidori gets ripped apart. Fearless with the DD reigns supreme in the team fight. Now they can look for the cleanup crew. As Nevermind just doesn't have the damage in the tank. The question is the vision. Is it there? And it is. Once it expires in the invis, they can close the distance. Position 1 and 2 down.
Of your life led without
Is
doubt.
that's at least a full set? Do they just go throne? If no one buys back,
Yeah. I mean,
Radiant's
even if
middle
you
tower is
do,
under attack.
you don't have Epicenter, you don't have Rolling Thunder, you got nothing. I think you could just end this game, and you can
Radiant's
see
middle
Trezam,
tower has
he's changed his priority, just saying, look, we need to
Radiant's middle
well, at least
barracks
get that
has
last
fallen.
creep, but
they just have to kill off the
they're
mid.
gonna say, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Radiant's bottom
Look at all
tower is
Zap.
under
He's
attack.
done his job. I mean, he's down for 100.
Structures are fortified.
A long time. This must have been the buyback previously. But Mastro's still jumping the back line. I mean, you don't want to lose the freebies now. There's
Radiant's bottom tower
no point in holding that position.
There's the back door, though.
Yeah.
So Trezam, he's saved the game for now. He's prolonged it. Is it going to be enough, though? You're still down now a set of... Well, not a set of racks, just the melee racks. You see the difference, though. Like, Rose... How did they catch Chidori? I was looking at Rose the
Yeah.
entire time, thinking, like, are you going to be able to finally get off that BKB in these team fights? He did, but the thing was, like, he got the static link off onto the Lifestealer, and you've got that Eye of Skadi that goes through. So he was just able to run away from a Razor, you know? Like, it's crazy that it's got to this stage where you can still just look to escape with the use of the Sanjin Yasha and the phase boots once you get even just a single right click onto the Razor, who's BKB.
Aegis, Ag shot as well. Never mind. Looking for a snipe. He might have timed it to perfection, actually, but great placement. The 8th, the Remnant. Predicting Nevermind's movement, and he will get out with nothing but a zap to the face.
Regeneration.
Your fall.
What a play.
What do they give it over to? So, Ag shot in the backpack of Masaros, and he's actually going to eat that one. And they've got the Aegis on Jackie with the Rage duration. So this is now a difficult task to mount the
Radiant's top tower is
defense.
under attack.
Let's go on the attack range as well on Fearless here. So he's just looking to get up that next
Radiant's
tier of
top
farm
tower
coming
has
through,
fallen.
or as much of it as possible. And yeah, I mean, you could just stand well behind Jackie now and continue to siege away at the creeps. Like, how are you going to lock down both the Lifestealer and the Lina?
They're going to make an attempt here. Nice U-turn back around Jackie. The chain control is there. Beautiful play. The first life expended. Can they do it a second time, though? That's the question. It's not going to be as easy of a task.
Tower has fallen.
The answer's there. They will not. So tier 3 tower will fall. Chidori, a BKB expended as well. And now back to the objective-based gaming. And holding the buyback at least from Nevermind.
There's no point in him buying back. You need that epicenter to be able to turn around, and it's going to be 5 seconds after he looks to naturally respawn.
Oh, Rose has to pop the BKB, but at least have the Yule's
Finally.
control. Jackie, his rage will come out of
Hold
the
the
nick of
bash.
timing, but they're still going to be cautious. They've expanded all of his damage at the moment, but still they can turn. Fearless cuts through Rose. Look at the buyback left in the arsenal, but Setsuru, what a ravage to put them all in the grave. They'll burst through Chidori. They'll look for Trezam next as well. The Pango, so difficult to lock onto thanks to the Aghanim Shard, but it will not matter as Masaros has so much mobility to catch the backline. They're still going to be cautious though. Cycloning Jackie up once again. They're trying to drain his damage completely dry, but they themselves
not
have no
dying.
damage. Motivate still 5 heroes alive. Now they've completely controlled the enemy's territory and looking to claim it all as they'll take the series 2-0.
And that was a dominant performance there coming out from
Dire
Motivate. Like,
victory.
just 31k net worth lead. After all of that, like, great laning stage, especially from the side lanes coming through from Dreammaker. I thought Chidori had a fantastic start to the game. Trezam still played impeccably that game. It came down to the team fights. You know, I think I counted 3, maybe 4 times that Rose wasn't able to get the BKB off, and even the time that he didn't pop the other healing items that he had to be able to withstand, even just for a couple of seconds in these team fights and allow the rest of the team to join in. And unfortunately, at the end of the day, that was enough. I mean, just having a look at the kill scores, if you had a look at this, you would probably think that, you know, Dreammaker are in a pretty good spot. Trezam 11, 5, and 10 on his Pangolier. Chidori in a pretty good spot as well with his kills to death ratio, but Motivate, their team fight is just out of this world.
Yeah, out of this world it was, and the execution from them overall too is just beautiful to see. Dreammaker, unfortunately, like we're starting off with lower bracket matches. I mean, you hate to see it. Just already the first team eliminated from the BTS Pro Series Season 8. And in fashion like that, it just continues on from group stages. Motivate, they had their number there. They have their number now. And it was a very, very close second game, but just a couple of the fights where we saw Motivate were able to out execute it. It was just beautiful to watch though. Like through the game, we were really seeing how they were putting so much emphasis on the Razor. If they can target him down, burst him through, because Rose, his number one priority was limiting Jackie's damage in the fights. We saw that was the only person he was static linking, but Motivate, they itemized defensively to protect Jackie and also recognize who they had to jump first as well. So overall, it wasn't just, you know, the little things they do at such a high level.
And it's not even just like everything being done to protect Jackie. I think I counted 4 different times that Jackie protected his team, you know, just popping the rage, making sure he's in the pathway of the arrow to protect someone else from getting stun locked, using the infest to save even his position 5 hero, realizing that Motivate, they're at their best when they're at their full 5. And, you know, if it's like if you cut off one arm, a big part of their strength goes away. So it's just another great show of teamwork coming through from Motivate.Trust. Enables them, excuse me, to take the win. Moves them on to the next stage of the lower bracket. I'm not sure who they'll be playing on the top side, whether if it just drops down or if it reverses when someone loses from the upper bracket.
Well, we'll find out. We do have a winners interview, however, for us. So this is going to be exciting to see. We're just trying to get Fearless in at the moment.
I think we have to move up. Okay. Do we go up into his room?
I think we might have to. Right, let's jump in.
All right.
Fearless, congratulations.
Hello.
He's a happy boy. Well, congratulations there. Were you a little scared by Dreammaker, what they were able to do, particularly in the laning stage? Because early on, especially in that second game, we were thinking, oh, these guys might actually do it. Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, we were just saying, like, were you a little bit scared at about the 20-minute mark, because it felt like Dreammaker, they were getting a lot of plays happening their way, or were you guys always confident that you would be able to take it out?
I think we knew exactly what we needed to get the victory. I mean, some items, our timing. Just wait for it, then we can win it for sure. I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a question for you because Fearless, you're very much a spirit style of player in the mid lane. You know, your Storm Spirit, your Ember Spirit, they're all up towards Grandmaster or Master tier. And I have a
Yeah.
specific question about it for you. So, with previously, before the most recent patch, it was always felt like, at least in my eyes, that Storm Spirit was a better hero than Ember Spirit, just in a 1-to-1 matchup. Do you feel like that's changed in a big way because of the extra absorption on Flame Guard at level 1?
Not exactly, because I think the Storm got buff also. Like his Q got buffed a little bit. Yeah, so I think it doesn't make any much difference. But yeah, I think for now, Emperor is easier to solo kill Storm, since his frame guard like can take a lot of damage in early game.
There you heard it from the Spirit Man himself. You got anything, Lockie?
I was just gonna say, how's the, what do you boys like to do with your free time? Like after a game like this, after your series 2-0ing a team, you guys relaxing, you enjoying some time together? Any activities that you do?
Yeah. We watching Netflix.
Netflix.
Yeah.
What shows? What
Yeah.
shows are you watching?
We watch anything. Like from like recently we watched can I say that? Sex Education.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's
The
starring
series.
Asa Butterfield. He actually is a streamer for Liquid as well. So there's the Dota connection in there. I have a
Yeah.
question for you as well. Why do you have Buttercup as your profile picture?
I would like to keep it secret for a little longer.
Okay.
It's his
All right. How
secret
about
weapon.
if you win grand finals, I'm going to message you on Twitter and ask you. Okay.
Okay.
All
There
right.
you
And then
go.
you have to tell me.
That's a little
Promise,
thing.
promise.
Very
All
good.
right. Good.
Yeah, it looks like the chemistry continued to build. How also happy with you, of course, when Mastros hit 10K. I know you both, the team has got the rivalry with your ranked games. You're always looking to battle out and be the person that's on top. Was there a little bit of friendly banter being like, oh, you finally hit 10K after me?
It's like, oh, you hit 10K, I need to get 10K too. Then we fight match together. Then we taunt each other every match.
Yeah. It seems like there's definitely a lot of taunting going on, even between you guys and Nevermind. Obviously, there's a very friendly relationship there between you guys, so it's always great to see. I have just one last question for you. Obviously, we're only, what is it, 15, maybe a few more days away from TI. Who do you think's going to win?
This CI,
Yeah,
I'm cheering for T1.
Let's go.
good man.
T1.
Keeping it within Southeast Asia. So, all the best for your matches moving forward. I believe that's in 2 days' time. So we will be casting that as well. So good to see what you're able to come out with again.
Yeah.
Thank you,
See you
Phyllis.
guys.
Thank you for joining. Congratulations on the series
Thank you.
victory. There we go. Danog, we are first series done and dusted. Next up, though, we're going to have Obi Neon taking on Polaris. And that was the last match to outround the group stages. Neon, they were able to win that 2-0, which almost guaranteed their place in the playoffs here. So we'll see if they can continue with the momentum that this new roster has been building, or if the new or ex-Ardre, whatever you want to call it, is going to get a little bit of revenge here versus Neon. But time will tell. We might have a bit longer of a break considering the first series was a 2-0, but nonetheless, it's only 2 series for tonight with playoffs underway. Day 1, you don't want to miss the second series. Our second team will be eliminated. Tune in to find out who.